and then finishing up with a rebound. I think we learned what we can be like when we run and when we not only push the ball, but we throw the ball ahead. I think that's big. I think we learned that the step up in competition, especially that we saw in the first 2 days, means that we've got to keep getting better. There's got to be something that we aspire to. And then to turn around and play Chaminade on day 3 with the speed and the activity of their offense and the way they move the ball lets you know that, I mean, you got to bring it every day no matter what. It's not about who you're playing, it's how you're playing. And I think, to me, that's what we've got to continue to understand on a daily basis, just how crucial improvement is so that we can carry it over into the games no matter who we're playing.
Of course, all the talk was about Ant and the job he did in those 3 games. But just the work he's done, working with it in the offense, which still enables him to have the kind of success he's had.
Well, he's just scratching the surface, and I know he had a big-time game, but he's just scratching the surface because we'll go back to the Georgia Tech game. He had, I think, 6 points off back cuts.
Yeah.
Right? Like those things wouldn't have happened in the past. There's just so many things he's learning about the game that they're all learning about the game, and they're learning how they can affect it and impact it. And what he's got to continue to do is we can't predetermine. You know, we've got to be able to read the defenses. We've got to be able to attack earlier, more often. We've got to get even more movement into our offense, and I think he's a part of that. But I think at the same time, I mean, he had 14 deflections in the Michigan State game. That's a big deal to me because of the activity. And what we try to get across to our team is when we're impacting the game on a defensive end, with turnovers or getting stops, and we get out and run, we can really take our game up a notch. But even when the other team scores, we got to get the ball out of bounds and we got to get up the court, because right now, until we get more cohesive, until we shoot it better, until we can become more of a lane scoring, you know, getting post-ups type of team, we've got to be able to play in transition, and then we've got to be able to take what the defense gives us.
I know you've talked about it a lot, but how much did this trip kind of illustrate the fact that, you know, playing with consistency is something this team's really got to strive for?
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's going to be part of it for the long run. I mean, it's a really tough trip. It's a great trip, but it's an extremely tough trip. And we'll still feel the effects of it today. We got home early Friday morning after leaving Thursday afternoon from Maui, flew all night, got back, practiced late Friday night, gave them Saturday off, came back yesterday afternoon, got up and lifted this morning. I mean, there's still guys that are still dealing with the Maui time, but we're back to business, right? We're back to school. So really glad that we practiced on Friday night, because now that would just set you way back if you don't come back and try to get your system intact a little bit. But all those things I'm talking about lead to consistency, understanding why, understanding how hard you have to go, understanding how you've got to work through fatigue, how you've got to deal with pressure, but how you got to keep coming possession by possession.
How important is this game coming up Wednesday from the standpoint you're going to have like a 10-day layoff now after that to kind of?
Well, it's extremely important because it's an NCAA tournament team. Mm-hmm. It's a very physical team. They're extremely well coached with Coach Moten, and they can shoot the ball. They'll zone. They'll press. They're coming in to win the game, right? I mean, they're coming in to win the game, and what we've got to do is we've got to be able to attack that. You know, we've got to be able to come. We've got to be able to play our game, but we've got to be able to read the game. And that's going to be a huge part of this. So it's not as much. I'd love to have more of a break, right? So we can continue to practice and get better. But we've got to play this game and play it with the maturity. You know, knowing that our bodies may not be all the way back the way we would like them to be, but we've got to play it with a maturity and go out and play it the right way against a tough-minded group that's an NCAA tournament returning team.
When you talk about something to look forward to when you outscore Michigan State by 10 in the second half, you know, on the one hand, does that kind of show what this team is capable of when you put things together, but on the other hand?
To a degree, yeah, it's always hard as a coach to see that, but absolutely. You know, we played that one really good half, and we didn't give in, and it would have been very, very easy for a group of young guys to absolutely give in against Michigan State that day, but we didn't, and Anthony did a really good job, and there were times we had 4 freshmen on the court during that run, and that's part of it too. You know, the youth getting a chance to play in that type of environment, playing against that type of competition, making that kind of run, all those things help. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to have those things turn into wins. And that's why to get the win Wednesday, as tough as a game as that was, to get that win was a really crucial thing, because that could have gone either way. They were moving the ball at an incredibly high rate. We were steps slow in many situations, and we were feeling the fatigue of it. And our guys responded, and he made a big shot at the end of the game.
Ray said he went snorkeling. Was that a team thing?
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah, I wasn't out there, but I'm sure they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
You didn't?
No, I didn't snorkel. My kids did, but I didn't. So.
What's the biggest challenge for this team from the standpoint of learning to play without that big man in the middle, that big post player that can kind of
Keep developing those guys to be able to help us, right? Scoring in the paint, guard post-ups, more cutting, better offensive rebounding, right? Those type of things are really, really important for us. We've got to get points in the paint. We've got to go through the paint. We've got to get points in the paint. How we get them will continue to grow as the year goes on. But there's no question we've got to be able to get the ball inside and mix up who we get it to and how we get it there.
The positionless basketball, can you put that down to dummies, like positionless basketball for dummies? How does that exactly work? I mean,
No, you know what? We're struggling with that right now. We're struggling with when you have a guy at the 5 spot. Well, I'm not a 5-man. Well, no, you're in the 5 spot. Severe Wheeler and Anthony Edwards might be in the 5 spot on certain plays, certain actions. So to me, it's the spot that you're in. Positionless basketball is not just an offensive thing. It's can you guard those positions? Can you guard other people? Can you guard multiple positions? So really, there's a lot of movement in the offense. I think we've got to do. We've really tried to work on hard on what our movement is. Now we've got to come back and really understand. Okay, this is what we're trying to get in this action. This is what we're trying to get now. This is what we're trying to get in this time and score situation. So it's positionless, but it's also reading the game. But it's really having a versatility to be able to do multiple things. And to be able to moving without the ball is the whole key, right? Can you make shots? Can you pass the ball? Can you rebound the ball? Can you defend on the other end? But the biggest thing is, can you move without the ball in a way that the defense has to honor you? And that's what we're really trying to work on. That's what it means as much to me as anything.
Maybe 2 more questions.
Anthony said he liked how Rodney Howard came out in the second half against Michigan State. What do you like seeing from him, especially when you need a big man like
Yeah,
that?
we need that. We need him to continue to progress. We need him to continue to progress on both ends of the floor. That's really, really important for us. He's a very good screener. He played with tremendous confidence in that game. What we're working on now is, especially with all of our bigs, is people will play lineups that makes it very, very hard for us to play our big guys because you have to go out and guard on the perimeter. Whether it's the ball screen game, we'd like to get into a situation where we're switching a lot more. And that's harder for those bigger guys right now. But that's something we work on. We worked on it hard with him yesterday. We'll work on it again today, and we've just got to continue to develop it because Rodney is a key part for us.
Pete seems to be a guy that's maybe come on a little bit too.
At times, and we need more consistency from him. We need to keep putting him in different situations, but he responded well the other day. And he just needs to be more consistent on a daily basis in practice and with his approach to that. And I think he'll see some benefits from that. That's the biggest thing with a young player like that, especially with a guy that wasn't here all summer.
Thanks for your
All right, see you guys. Thank you.